Kamisato Ayato, the dreamy, handsome, boba-loving swordsman. Hey everybody, this is Mystery here, and in today's video we will be covering the quickest, easiest, and simplest way to help you farm and prepare for Ayato. Timestamps will of course be available in the description below. Let's begin. To ascend Ayato to level 90, you will need 18 old handguards, 30 Kageuchi handguards, and 36 famed handguards. To level Ayato's talents to level 10, you will need 18 old handguards, 66 Kageuchi handguards, and 93 famed handguards. To both ascend Ayato to level 90 and level his talents to level 10, in total you will need 36 old handguards, 96 Kageuchi handguards, and 129 famed handguards. Handguards are dropped by the Nobushu, which are located all across Inazuma in mostly small groups. Shown on screen now is a series of small farming routes that I have created that was actually featured in the last video when we were farming for the Raiden Shogun. So this route will direct you to groups of 3 to 4 of the Nobushu in the least painful way possible, I hope. Good luck farming for these because I know just as well as you do, they are so painful to farm for. Hopefully this farming route will be able to make it just a little bit easier for you though. You will need 168 Sakura Bloom petals to ascend Ayato to level 90. Sakura Bloom can be such a pain to farm, so I've come up with this series of farming routes, so just repeating these routes every 3 days or so should get you enough Sakura Bloom. So, while we're farming the Sakura Bloom, why don't you let me know? Why are you pulling for Ayato? Let me know in the comments below. I always love hearing everybody's stories. It was really interesting reading through all the reasons you guys were pulling for Raiden, so go ahead and tell me why you're pulling for Ayato this time. Pro Gamer Tip. If you have Goru, then make sure you have him in your party whilst you're following these routes. His passive talent will allow you to see local Inazuma specialties on your minimap, which just so happens to include the Sakura Bloom. So when you're following along with the route and stuff, your minimap should hopefully point you in the right direction. You will need 46 Dews of Repudiation to ascend Ayato to level 90. Dew of Repudiation is dropped by the Hydro Hypostasis, which is located at the top right of the Sangonomiya Shrine. This boss is great because it will also drop the much needed Varunada Lazurites, which you're also going to need a pretty decent amount of. How much exactly? Well, let's find out. You will need 1 Varunada Lazurite Silver, 9 Varunada Lazurite Fragments, 9 Varunada Lazurite Chunks, and 6 Varunada Lazurite Gemstones in total to ascend Ayato to level 90. The Varunada Lazurite is dropped by the following weekly bosses shown on screen now, and is also dropped by these bosses shown on screen now. Farming the Hydro Hypostasis is a great option here, because it not only drops the Varunada Lazurite, but it also drops the Dew of Repudiation, which is also needed to ascend Ayato to level 90. Alternatively, you can also use Dust of Azoth to craft the Varunada Lazurite, which I highly recommend because that will save you heaps of time and it's pretty easy to do. You will need 18 of the Mudra of the Malefic General hand thingies to level Ayato's talents to level 10. This item is dropped by the Raiden Shogun weekly boss, which is located underneath the Grand Narukami Shrine. I'd recommend you start farming this boss ASAP because you of course aren't always guaranteed the drop, but of course if you do have some spare dream solvents then absolutely go ahead and use those. So get onto it as soon as you can.
The beauty of nature.
You will will need 9 teachings of elegance, 63 guides to elegance, and 114 philosophies of elegance in total to level Ayato's talents to level 10. The teachings of elegance can be found from the Violet Court domain, which is located to the left of Inazuma City on this little small island. Teachings of elegance are available every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, so if you're making some sort of farming schedule, which I highly recommend you do, take note of this. You will need around 7 million Mora in total to level Ayato to level 90, as well as level all of his talents to level 10. You will also need 12 Wanderer's Advice, 11 Adventurer's Experience, and around 420 Hero's Wit. The easiest way to obtain both Mora and books is by farming them from their respected ley lines. Make sure you claim your rewards with condensed resin, so you can get double the reward each time. Using 4 condensed resin on 4 of the Mora ley lines will reward you with 480,000 Mora, and using 4 condensed resin on 4 of the book ley lines should give you around 36 to 40 Hero's Wit books. Time for the juice, or I guess you could say the boba, ha ha ha, so funny. The artifacts. At low ping, Echoes of an Offering is his best artifact set, as his passive doesn't consistently work at high ping. Heart of Depth is also an excellent set to farm, and the domain itself is great if you're planning to build another cryo DPS, thanks to the domain also being the home to the Blizzard Straya set, so hey, 2 birds with 1 stone. A Gladiator set also works pretty well, it's just slightly worse than having a Heart of Depth set. But it still works out well if you've already got a good Gladiator set ready for him. And if you plan to run him as more of an off-field Hydro Applicator, and you want to keep his burst up more, then 2-piece emblem can work, but this is really a last resort. For artifact stats, you'll want to go for an attack % Sands, crit rate / crit damage circlet, and a Hydro damage bonus goblet. For substats, you ideally want to prioritize energy recharge, then crit rate / crit damage, attack %, and finally HP %. Ayato scales off of HP, but generally attack is just better. HP isn't a dead stat on him though, so HP should still be fine. You generally want to be aiming for around 140 energy recharge for Ayato. Haran is Ayato's best weapon, but there are other great options besides this weapon if you don't already have it. Jade Cutter is the most versatile weapon, so use this if you don't already have Haran. Mist Splitter is worse than Haran and Jade, but if you already have Mist Splitter, then you might as well just use it, since Mist Splitter is of course still very strong. And finally, for 5-star weapons, Summit Shaper is, well, it's definitely an option if you really need it to be. For 4-star weapons, Black Sword is a great option if you plan on buying the Battle Pass. Cursed Blade is the best free-to-play option for Ayato, so use this if you can't get Black Sword or any of the other 5-star weapons. Honorable mentions for weapons include the Harbinger of Dawn and the Amenuma Kageuchi. Huge thanks to my buddy San for helping out with this section of the video. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I wish you as much luck as possible if you plan to pull for Ayato, and I really hope this video helped you out. If you enjoyed, liking the video would really help me out. If you plan on building Raiden in the future, I have another farming guide very similar to this one, so you should totally go and check out that video if you want to farm for Raiden. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your pulls.